Welcome back, we're here, it's the Berlin Major, we're getting underway, believe it or not, we are finally back on. I'm Dev, and Mandy, how you feeling, you keen?
Yeah, I'm keen to get back into it. Finally, DWG KIA versus Rogue. We've been hyping up this storyline for what feels like quite many hours now. It's been brewing, it's been marinating, and now it's time to get cooking.
I love that from you. All right,
thank you.
First up on the grill, DWG KIA. These two teams have never versed before, but DWG KIA from Korea. I love saying that. I love a bit of rhyming. 16th ranked in the world right now on 6 invitational standings, which means if they keep up their current form, they will just barely scrape into the 6 invitational. Now, they've made a name for themselves, this DWG roster. They made it to the semi-finals back at the Sweden Major. They were one single kill away from making it to the grand final, which would be a first for any APAC team, but unfortunately they lost it. And since then, it's been a bit of a downhill spiral for DWG. They haven't been able to make it so far to that grand final or even back to a major. They missed out on Charlotte. As you can see, we've got the map veto. You might have already seen it if you came in before, but we are indeed going to bank. And we've been trying to split these teams, but we're pretty hard-pressed to favor one or the other.
It is very difficult to split these teams in result. I think when we talk about the characteristic of these teams, the identity they have, it's very set. DWG KIA have a completely different identity to Rogue. Rogue, they're a bit more structured, they're a bit more together, whereas DWG KIA, they're a lot more unique. They throw in that wild card, and I think that going to bank, it's going to be a real test for whether the philosophies actually work against each other.
And we can see from the graphic that the final ban was theme park from DWG, so DWG KIA got to choose to go to bank. That meant that Rogue got to choose the starting sides, and well, that does play into it as well. We've seen the kind of attacking meta come a bit more central with the recent buffs and just the way that the meta has been shaping. And particularly, I'm thinking about one player when we talk about that, right? We have talked about the legend, the young gunner himself, Spoit. He's the second youngest player at this event. You might know him as a content creator, but we know him here in esports as a machine.
We absolutely do. Spoit, although what we're going to say is historically he's been very good on the attack. His rating on the attack is significantly higher on the defense. But what that means is that Rogue being able to choose the momentum that they bring into it to try and enable him is going to give them a huge advantage going into this best of one.
Yeah, and I've got that Rogue Rogue starting on the attack. What was the stat off the top of my head? Something like Spoit 1.5 KD on attack and
something like
0.5 deaths per round, which is incredibly low. Now, we talked a lot about kind of where DWG sit and that they're fighting for redemption. We know what they're capable of, but are they going to be able to deliver it after a bit of a spat? Now, back with Rogue, in a way, kind of similar. Like, they are looking for redemption as well. This roster has been all kinds of places. We've seen players like Leon, true veterans of the scene, make it win minors in the past. But a major is a very different thing. This is, to some people, the most favored EU team at this event. Is that too hard to say?
I think it's very hard to divide Rogue to Wolves. Rogue and Wolves have a very similar identity coming into this major, but of course we saw Wolves, they actually ended up beating out Rogue and seeding higher. So you would think that the Wolves are just the better iteration of the EUL teams, but that is not to count out Rogue. These guys, they have not been together for nearly as long as those guys have, and they've come out with some flying results already.
And they are 14th ranked in the world right now, so if Rogue keep up their form, they will be looking pretty solid for the 6 invitational based on their points. If you get top 16, you make it to SI. But on top of that, Rogue did make it to the semi-finals back at the Sweden Major. They were knocked out early in the 6 invitational in February, and then they missed out on Charlotte. So, in fact, that is a parallel. Both of these teams made semi-finals in Sweden. Both of these teams disappointed themselves at the 6 invitational and then it missed out on Charlotte. So we kind of have the APAC and the EU sides of the same coin.
I think I would agree with that as well. I think for DWG, they've been pretty consistent coming to these international events ever since they made their debut, I suppose, as a big Tier 1 team. And they've stolen a lot of hearts. They're here all the time, but so is Rogue. And this is 2 teams of experience. They've traveled before, they've been places, they've seen the world, and they've played Siege across the globe as well.
Yeah, it's also fun to see Rogue as a truly European team. 5 players from 5 different European countries. Let me see if I can get this all right. So you got Leon Giz from the UK. You got Krein from Germany. In fact, here you go. Here in his, I don't know if he's from Berlin, but you know, he is in his home country right now playing this event. You got Deepak from the Netherlands, Kantaraketi from Finland, a name that almost needs no introduction. If you're a bit of an OG, you watched the G2 era of Siege, Kanto made a name for himself there. World champion back in 2019. And of course, Spoit from Sweden, the young gunner. I believe he's also half Thai, so you've got his own ties, if you will, to the APAC region. But on the quite a contrast on the Dam1 side, every player, every support staff, it's all South Korea.
I love that from you, by the way. You've managed to pull in some crazy lines. When are you dropping your rap album?
Nah,
anyway.
No, not happening. Sorry. No one wants to see that.
No one wants to see the Dev rap album. Chat, can you tell us if you want to see a Dev rap album? I feel like that would kind of go...
It would not.
No? It would not go hard?
If there's anyone in the talent team that's going to do it, it's like M or someone way cooler than me. I'm just not cool enough to qualify for that.
Yeah.
All right, so Bank we are going to head to, and having a look at the stats. Rogue have a positive win rate on Bank, and the last time they played it was beating out BDS 8-6. We had a bit of a watch of that game the other day.
Did.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Rogue have a very, very solid Bank. They know how to play it. They look fluent on it. Their strat book on it is very well thought out and detailed as well. And they're always on the same page and once again enabling their entries to go straight into that map and capitalize on the full map clear. They do it in a tempo and pace that is just unmatched in my opinion.
Yeah, and, well, BDS, a strong team in their own right, but they were bested by Rogue in that game. It was a close 8-6. But if you roll back the clock a little bit further in EWEL, Rogue also took down G2 at the very start of Stage 2, 7-1 on Bank. So, hot form for Rogue on this map. Demolishing G2 and getting a close win over BDS does put pretty strong stead for the Rogue side. Now, if you look at Dam1's recent history on this map, back in the start of August, wasn't that long ago, they went and played Sandbox Gaming at the Gamers 8 event, and they actually lost 7-4. Not kind of under-delivering, in my opinion. Like, Dam1 was the only team going to that event that actually qualified for the major, and they bailed out early.
Dam1, though, they've gone through a period of adversity, and I think it's okay for them. They have to go through that struggle to come out on top and go through that process of maturing as a team. And I think going into this is the perfect opportunity to show us that they have been through that arc indeed. And that even though they've come off the back of losses, it's not all over yet for them. Yeah,
and if we look a bit further back, right, like Dam1 have played some pretty strong Bank games during Stage 2, pre-Gamers 8. They destroyed Sandbox 7-1 in Korea Open. And they also beat Fnatic 7-4 at the start of APAC North. But we are ready to get into the game, I believe. So we are... No, maybe we're not. Let me just check that. All right, we're not quite ready. We have one player to get into the lobby. I can see he's in the lobby now. So as soon as we get that call, we will get in. But before we get into it, in summary, I need a prediction from you, Mandy.
Prediction for me, I think we're leaning towards Rogue. We've said the veto goes in their favor. They look strong in it. We love their strat book for it. Dam1, they've gone through adversity. They haven't done so well on this map. I'm looking at Rogue to take them out for this best of one, but will they? I'm ready to be proven wrong.
Well, let's get into the map. It's the first game of Six Invitational here on the A stream. It has been a long time coming, but Dam1 and Rogue are about to go head-to-head. It is the #1 seed out of APAC versus the #4 seed out of EU, or 2 seed out of EU. And Rogue will be fighting with the power of Europe and the home turf on their side here as Dam1 try to make their way back to a major and to a semi-final where they have been before. Let's get into Bank.
GLHFs go out in the chat from both teams. We are well and truly in it now, Dev. Dam1 KIA on the defense, Rogue on the attack. The expectations for these guys on that entry is high. We expect them to make these waves and take it to Dam1 KIA.
We're expecting a tight game between these teams, but let's jump in. We've prefaced everything we possibly can, and time to actually see the action. Now, the first bit of action that comes out is the operator veto. Dam1 getting rid of the Ying. I don't remember seeing Rogue play a lot of Ying against BDS in the game we watched the other day. Also, the Monty ban from Rogue. So we're seeing all these little cheeky ones come out. And the Thatchers stayed in, the Hibanas stayed in. This is a bit unusual.
Well, I don't mind this from Damwon Kia. I feel like we've seen Kanto multiple times move off that entry role into now a more flexible role. So Ying is one of the operators in his arsenal, for example, that they have taken out. Now he's locked on what would be a regular operator like Sledge or typical secondary entries. On top of that, Monty going out, that does mean that Thatcher, Maverick, both of your hard breaches have been left in as well. So getting open those long lines of sights and hatches will be made much easier for the attack. I think this is genius from Rogue.
I also love to see Leon calling out Damwon. When the Oryx ban comes through, he's like, okay, dude.
Okay.
The XD reply from Coded. Love that for Damwon Kia. Getting rid of the Oryx. I mean, Oryx is pretty big threat on bank with all the hatches.
Absolutely. These bans are so specialized to these teams, you can barely talk about how the map is going to play out. Everything is open to both of these teams except their favorites, except something that makes their playstyle them on this particular map. Damwon Kia will be taking us straight into a curveball. They're going to be taking us to staff room and open area as the first bomb site, bringing out a castle strat. It's very dynamic across the map. We can see Boogeyman going down in the basement, Coated setting up an extension horizontally over into Tellers and Archives. It looks like a very comprehensive hold from Damwon Kia.
Indeed it does, and this open area staff room has proven to be the most defensible bomb site on this map. A lot of teams have been leaning on this to rack up their defense wins on an ever so evolving attacker-sided meta. Now, I've actually got globally right now between all of the regions in Tier 1 Siege at the moment, Bank is actually slipping over to the attacking side, 55%, and that puts a lot of pressure on Rogue right now. They're in the driving seat.
Now, on top of that, Dev, something that we didn't get to talk about over the bans is that Finka has been left in. And that means Spoit will get access to that LMG to make waves going into this building. On top of that, Rogue, they came up with a lot of repicks going into this round as well. We see a lot more enabling vertical coming out from Leon rather than the extra hard breach to try and make that pressure going into staff room and open area. Rin with a prep C4. Will it connect?
Just waiting patiently, Spoit taking top floor control, Woogieman to receive, but he starts to recede as the drone spots his position. He is caught out from the position on the skylight, Crime to get the opening pick and the first kill of the series.
And a perfect hammer and anvil push coming out from the entry of Spoit. He flushed him right into the line of sight of Crine to take down the first pick of this series. Now they have full top floor control. They can start getting use of that skeleton key. C4s are going to fly out from Damwon Kia, but they do not connect.
This is a really good start here from Rogue, and you can see Damwon feeling that pressure. Look at the three players mounting up together, trying to find a pick back. Spoit taken so low, but he survives. He lives to tell another day. And he's still got those fingerboos, going to keep racking those up. But the peak comes through and cuts him. He can finish him off. Damwon not letting him get away with it.
Not before you could use any of those adrenal surges as well. But that's okay. That's your entry going down. There's still time on the board for Rogue. They are getting that vertical pressure. And now Coded is feeling it inside of Teller's Crine. He's coming in for the push.
Oh, look at this
Is Leon going to spot it? But the info.
Crine using those concussion blasts to try and fall back, and Coded taken down. A great entry there from Rogue once again, getting that man advantage back on their side, but there's a whole minute left and still a lot to work with.
48 seconds left on the side of Rogue to press the attack. Now they have no hard breacher, but Yas has also just taken down Crine. Things are starting to go sour for them. They have the two tin cans on D-Pack to try and get the quad wall open, but it's mute jammed out. It feels like the ways in for Rogue into this bomb site are slowly dwindling away. This quad wall is staying closed. I wonder what the push is going to be from them.
It's going to need to be desperate, and Kanto can take down Yas. That's a big pick. Numbers advantage back on the Rogue side. They're going to need it. Because like you said, no hard breach available. No opportunity to make another entry into the site. But Damwon leaning on Rin and Katsung in such strong positions. A double on the round for Katsung, but traded back immediately. Rin with a C4 goes over the top D-Pack, trying to find him, Rin! And just like that, he takes the clutch.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe what we just saw from Rin with the SMG-11 in a very, very cheeky spot just by the corner inside of Office. They hadn't gotten drones into the site. That late round push from Rogue was just too little, too late. No info as they tried to make it in, and Damwon KIA held on to that anchor position even through all the adversity in the early round.
Well, you can see already this is going to be a back and forth matchup. Neither team letting each other get away with it. It's going to be a constant battle.
Damwon KIA now taking us up to the top floor. Exec and CEO Office will be the second site of contest as they've brought out this first round win. Yes, on the Azami is one of my favorite things to see from this roster. He is so flexible with this operator. There is so much architecture that you can change in the map, and I'm so curious to see how this will change Damwon KIA's defense.
Did you see the meme on Twitter that's of Rin with the thing? I don't know whether he was trying to be the monster from the ring, but he was looking hella terrifying.
He was.
He was doing his Nook cosplay, and now Kryan has taken some inspiration from that and picked the Nook himself. That makes for a decent number of nades on this attacking side.
Rogue though, they started out Kryan on this east side of the map, trying to make his way straight into Office with the Nook, seemingly unspotted thus far, able to sneak his way in. Will he be able to connect any grenades though? I wonder what the plan is. He is inside of Office already, completely undetected. 2 nades in his hand and the hatch is open. I wonder what will come out of this.
Oh, this may be perfect. Look at that positioning! That has got to be some insane VOD work from Rogue. They knew exactly where Yas was going to play, and they nade him into oblivion.
Now Rogue with the 1-man advantage, but we saw them in this position before. In that last round, we saw the Spoit and Kryan combo to take down Woogieman. This time, they have it once again, but can they convert it?
Unable to convert the previous round. Damwon, remember the way that they sprung into action? They desperately teamed up, looked for an opportunity to get the fight back on their side. Under the cover of the sound of the Selma, Spoit goes in. He's going to walk into a crossfire. They know where he is. There's an angle, but he lands the shot. Immediately traded. And Damwon going blow for blow.
Rogue, though, they're starting to press this attack once again. Kryan holding control of the bottom main stairs, looking for what play he can. But the rest of Rogue, what progress has been made on the map? We have Kanto on these north rappels, looking for what he can find in the site. But all of Damwon KIA sitting pretty away from these rappels. They do not want to be cut off in the man disadvantage.
Yokai's available, but the players are dropping like flies for Damwon as Kanto. He's turned on, and he's got it ready with the R4C. On the G36C rather, but Katsung, he's found his own back. Takes down Leon Kiz. The repel in from Deepak though. It's Kanto, in fact, got his way inside, but it's a team kill. Oh no! Deepak's the last one surviving for Rogue. He's got to make it a 1 versus 2 desperately. Dancing around the exec lounge, but he is taken out. Damwon starting strong on their defense.
Once again, Rogue crumbling under the pressure, even though they got the man advantage, even though they were able to press the attack through the mid-round. It seems to be these late rounds that are catching them off. They do not know the next step once they have the control that they need. And Damwon KIA, over and over again, they found these timings in the late round while Rogue are flustered, uncertain to catch these kills. Even on the repel in, Leon stuck in top square. They knew exactly when to get the swing onto him. And now Damwon KIA can take us down to the basement. Yet another side. It's looking
difficult one for Rogue. Look at Woogie here. M870. Do my eyes deceive me? On the Jaeger, no less. Surely this is going to be to hold a Hell in a Cell position, such as the blue stairs.
I can imagine the same coded as well, leaning into those Yokais on the Echo to try and hold out for the late round. This feels like a very, I suppose, traditional way to hold this bank basement. We have the combination of 2 C4s as well as the Pulse, Yokais, and the Smoke to try and deny this plant. Now, will it work in the current meta? I don't know, but it seems like Damwon KIA, they are starting out on this ground floor looking to contest the ever so potent entry of Spoit.
Have managed to trade a lot of Spoit's entries back. Just made it difficult for Rogue to really sink their teeth into these rounds. Look at that active defense from Damwon, jumping outside through the dirt tunnel to catch for any drones. Perhaps an early pick, but Rogue taking it nice and slow.
Nice and slow, you say. I don't know about that. Spoit making his way straight into ATMs. Seems like a lobby take from Rogue. This is not the usual entry that we see going into Bank. They're actually working all 5 players to sweep across the map slowly, while one makes their way into Garage. I don't mind this entry from Rogue. We can see 3 of 5 players on drones, just making sure that Spoit can get in, whether it's pre-placed, live droning, immediately putting him in a position that they can capitalize on any roamers trying to pull back.
Look at this flank watch position from Spoit. That is insane. And it also may well trick Katsung on the pulse, who will check to see if there's any flank watch operators. And, well, you won't expect Spoit playing in that position. You can see the information for Damwon just looking for these positions. What made Crime fall back there? He had so much info on Garage, and then he abandons the position.
Well, the thing is, Rogue, they've had such a good grip of this map so far. 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the round, and they still have, once again, to decide what they're going to do next to try and convert it. This is not a problem we've seen for Rogue. They've been excellent on this intel, excellent on the pre-placed drones to get in, but now this is the real test for them.
KIA pick makes the job of Hibana a hell of a lot easier here for Rogue. Woogieman, is he aware of the position of Krine? Sneaking in through the dirt tunnel. The shotgun is a menace in close range. Woogieman must have heard it, but no, he doesn't! The timing could not have been more unfortunate for either player, but Woogieman caught with no ADS as he goes down. Krine may well not know about it.
But once again, Rogue, in the possible man advantage, they are closing it out. Krine is just pushed in and found the kill into Woogie. 1 minute left for Rogue. Leon, again with a second pick. This is starting to look a bit more promising, Dev.
Could be the first round here for Rogue, and Spoit perfectly reads the flank attempt from Yas. It's looking desperate now. The Koreans were in holding on inside a vault, trying to prevent the hatch drop. That's his last gas babe going out. Coded does have the Yokais, but does he have an opportunity to do damage? That's not going to happen. A flawless round. Rogue are in the game.
Rogue are absolutely in the game off the back of what was such an incredible early to mid round. This time, they were able to convert it. And that's the big difference between the last 2 rounds and this one. The pre-placed drones, excellent. Always getting Spoit in the building. But when it came down to it, Leon, he was there to open up the hatches. Spoit had an excellent read on the main stairs. Krine made that push, press the attack into server, and that's the progress that Rogue need to move the round forward. And that is something that they had this round that they haven't had before. And yes, you're right, they are truly in it now.
I've got to say, Krine is looking really on form in this game. He's playing that lurker role so effectively. You can see he's currently the top fragger in the, almost the top fragger in the server. Katsung's actually out-fragged him. 6 kills to his name, but Krine, his impact has been felt so consistently, round upon round. That said, it's only led to a single round win from Rogue, which puts that pressure back on their side. You know, in both EUL and APAC North, where these teams are from, this map is decisively attacker favored, and we just haven't seen that so far from Rogue.
Well, I wouldn't call it too early. It is going to take a little while for this team to warm up to this game. I feel like we see that historically in the past, Rogue, they take a little while to get into the flow. But once the flow is there, it is pretty incredible. Although DWG KIA have taken us back to staff room and office now, this was a very successful hold for them.
Really fast though from Rogue, you remarked upon it. They're very quick into the building. Very quick with pressure on. A lot of angles exposed onto the bomb site there from that window outside open area, and I just love the SAM cams here from the Zero. DPEC, so much information in lobby.
Cam deployed.
And DPEC as well, now starting to get that flank watch onto that blue stairs. We often see if attackers are trying to go for a quad will take, that a defender will come up through those blue stairs and try and get a flank off. Once again, Spoit with very early control on this top floor. This time, DWG KIA, it doesn't seem like they have as much presence in this top floor. Before we saw a bit of a main stairs tussle, they're not willing to give their lives away anymore. They're just going to hold on to the space in the ground floor, making use of those C4s. Kanto could be in a little bit of trouble.
The upside down rappel looking for the player below, but Spoit does find the opener. It's Yas.
Drone is ready to go.
Ineffectual on the Vigil. He has been struggling this game so far. Rogue once again with another opening pick.
But can they convert it? This is the story, Dev. Now it's time for Leon to get in. Get off that drone, Leon. You need that skeleton key in the floor right now. Kanto Raketti has just repelled in as well, and now it's time to get that mid-round flowing and thinking about the next step. But the hold that DWG KIA have in this ground floor, it's very dynamic. They need drones. They need intel to problem solve.
You know, the tough thing here for Dam1 is Yas going down to the Vigil. I mean, he swapped off of the Valk, which he played the previous time they had this site, which enabled those vertical C4s. Dam1 a bit starved for information here. Rogue looking pretty well poised.
And like you said, now they're starting to surround the bomb site. We've got Cryan, we've got Spoit, and Kenny now joining them all on the west side. This feels like a more linear take, but Coded to take down Cryan, that could spell disaster.
Spoit still up, LMG in hand. Rin very hyper-aware of his position. Coded, traded back, only allowed a single pick. You can see Rogue once again in a strong position, but they're low on time. 40 seconds left.
Low on time and low on hard reach. We can see now DPEG has realized he needs another in on the bomb site and is starting to use those hard recharges. He's found a small slit in holes in the meter, but he gets impact tricks anyway. He's got another one. Can he make it work?
The time might not well be on Rogue's side here. Leon, diffuser in pocket. He's got the position of the hatch and he can find a pick from it. Rin, though, he clutched up the previous time on this site. 1v2 is now going to have to be a 2v4. Rogue! They don't collapse. They make sure that they will not capitulate and they close it out to tie up the scoreline.
Ooh, that was feeling a little bit dicey there. Spoit coming in with a grenade in hand. He must have just spotted a player right at the end and threw his nade at him. Rin to trade, I believe, with another explosive. That end round there was looking very scary for Rogue. But Dam1 KIA, I want to put it down a little bit on that Valkyrie. They fell off quite early as soon as Yas died. It was conservative from them. And what that meant was that Rogue could get in and make use of that mid-round much quicker than we've seen them do it before. And that's a big problem that we saw on their attack that Dam1 KIA have given them the estate to do. Now Dam1 KIA, they're going to repeat it though and see if they can correct some of those mistakes. We can see Yas back on the Valkyrie to try and get a better read of what Rogue are doing in the mid-round.
For both of these teams, the name of the game has been, a lot of the time, information. We've seen all of the zero cams that DPEG's been putting out and how much early ground that is afforded to Rogue as well. But Dam1, if they're going to secede top floor control, they need to have an impact on the vertical C4s.
Absolutely. I would definitely agree with you on that, and that's exactly why we can see the repeat of the Valk. We've got Rin back on the C4. He's been successful at twice, I believe now. It's been quite good for them, but I don't think that they can give away the space to Rogue. Rogue, once they have the space, now they know what to do with it. It's taken a while for them to warm up, but now that they're here to play.
Keeper barriers, I haven't particularly noticed their impact as of yet. But early once again from Leon, putting that pressure on in open area from the window, opening up lines of sight into kitchen with the skeleton key. And it looks like it's just the same formula for Rogue. It feels like the momentum has shifted here, Mandy. Dam1 started strong and clutched to close out the first round as well. Now Rogue are certainly here, and they have the advantage on their side.
And it's really been off the back of Spoit as well. He's been so strong in these entries. He's always getting his way into the map very, very quickly off the back of some excellent drone. We can see DPEG starting to drone out that top floor. Spoit with his gun up, Panto as well on the cutoff, being very diligent, clearing out this top floor. Now they know that Yas is hiding inside of the elevator. I believe he's just fallen down to the ground floor one, but this is a little bit more added pressure. Yas is not giving away his life this time. I don't mind this from Dam1 KIA. They're instilling a little bit more fear into Rogue this time.
Has this Black here you go. Valcam was spotted. Spoit takes it down. Good drone work there from Rogue and good comms.
Pretty peaceful so far into this mid-round Rogue. They look a little bit more nervous going to this top floor this time. A couple seconds later is this good play being made. Cryan once again putting in the pressure from lobby. They seem to always go for this west side lobby take. Waddle doesn't seem to be the play for these guys, but Dam1 are starting to get a read of it. We can see Coded, Woogieman, and Rin all combining in these positions, ready for the push through the way as Fratellis.
It's a lot of map control that Dam1 have retained, but it seems to all be on this ground floor and the basement. It's given a lot of ground up to Rogue. Once again, not a lot of action in the first 2/3 of the round, but now the rotation comes back, and it looks like Spoit is going to help out DPEG, perhaps. Getting this quad wall open, a nade over the top could actually net a kill here. Katsung, you better be ready, he survives it, but just barely.
45 seconds left as well. A different take for Rogue this time. They've committed 2 players to the bottom of the square stairs. We haven't seen this, but yes, do they know that he's here? There's only 38 seconds. What are they going to go for?
Just got to have an impact. Spoit on for the entry. Leon taken down elsewhere. Katsung He hasn't been spotted, but he does get turned on. Yas is the only player left. He's found his one, but he needs 3 more.
Attackers have recovered.
And I just don't see this happening. You might have a C4, but what's that going to do other than open a castle, barricade an entrance? Deepek going to confirm that diffuser plant. There might be information on site, but I don't know if it's possible.
And this close plan is looking so good for Rogue as well. They have so much info though. Damwon Kia, yes, is he going to be able to collect this kill?
Taken low and finished off. There you go. Easy as you like from Rogue. Back-to-back attacks on that same site. They are looking so much more confident than the start of this game.
Absolutely. Rogue now making their way, and I think we just heard, I don't know if you guys heard that on the stream, but we just heard the biggest woo echo through the stadium. That was incredible. Rogue, they're feeling riled up. They're ready to go into it now. Spoit, once again, very consistent on this entry. All of the Rogue players in that attack round, what we've seen time and time again is each attack is more optimized. Every single time we see the 5 players all making an impact on the round. There's no 1 or 2 players that are just doing something. It's all 5 of them combining together to make progress. And I think that's what we've seen just improve so rapidly through these 6 rounds. And now the final round on the defense, towards Rogue.
There was once upon a time where we were looking at a 2-0 scoreline and thinking, oh, this is an attacker-favored map. It's a bit scary that Rogue haven't found an attacking round yet. And now it's looking like Rogue are pretty likely to win this 4-2, which would be pretty much par for the course. So overall, Bank is 39% defender favored in EUL. So that is, what, 61% attacker favored? There you go. You'd expect a 4-2 split out of Rogue. In APAC North, it's actually quite a bit more defender favored. And Dam1, I mean, they can win this round and really show they can match the pace of Rogue and come back from this 3-round deficit. 3 rounds in a row they've lost. And that would put the scoreline into a much more comfortable position than going into the second half.
Kenta once again starting out with his bullet propels. It seems to be his position of choice, the one that Rogue has decided to specialize him in. And Spoit making his way into the top square stairs. This time they don't have Quine going below looking for that nade. I suppose Damwon Kia would have read into it now, so now it's time to change things up. Something that we've seen from Rogue is that they do know how to alter their attacks ever so slightly. Last round we saw a bit more pressure down in bottom square. They didn't do that this time, once again, we can see small changes in their attack, and it's paid off. Wow. Spoit with the entry onto Rin.
Really early pick there, and Dam1 looking lost. Rogue have been all over them, and Kai now making his way into the lobby as well. Spoit's got such a long line of sight, such an avid position. Dam1 are just dropping like flies, Mandy. It looks like before too long we are going to be tying up the half with Rogue a significant advantage.
And every time that Rogue attack, they make Damwon Kia look so claustrophobic. At the beginning, Damwon Kia looked so confident. They were holding the whole map. They were holding everything. Now, they're all just sitting on site, afraid. The same thing in staff room in an open area. They all had to fall back to these claustrophobic positions. They can't be cut off from windows. Lines coming in from office. They don't even know where these Rogue players could be coming from. There's just such an aura in this lobby that Rogue have got.
I mean, feasibly, the way in here for Dam1 is to win a couple of 1v1s and start evening up that scoreline. But Rogue aren't going to give them 1v1s. Rogue aren't going to overpeak. They're playing so well. They know they have an advantage. They've won a flawless round in this game already, and they could well do so here as well.
Now, this is the part where Rogue seem to struggle. A minute left. They have progress being made, but this mid-round is too late. Oh no! Wookie Man! He's taken down Leon.
Down on the ground, but Kanto replies. Bullet between the eyes. Spoit as well jumps in, and Kanto is on fire. Rogue to storm away 4 rounds in a row on their attacking side. They do win the half.
Rogue have instilled so much fear into this lobby. Every time you hear the boots of Spoit walking into the building, Damwon Kia going, ooh, that's scary. Even Yas being naded from below, he had no idea it was coming at him. The silent footsteps of the Nook to get in, it just felt like Rogue, in every way possible, had a point of pressure onto Damwon Kia that by the end of it, Damwon Kia didn't even know where the pressure was going to come from. They were afraid they might be cut off. Now Rogue going into their defense, what a momentum to swing into their favor.
There's no doubt, but if there's anything going for Dam1, it's the fact that now they do switch onto the favored side in theory. Rogue, though, no doubt they have a lot of confidence going in here. There's so much information as well, which seems to be the name of the game. The strength of Rogue is based on their communication. And when you've got information, you can communicate all kinds of things. When you've got the Valkyrie and the Echo, it's just a non-stop flow of synchronized movement to do what they need to.
And on top of that, we can see that Rogue are playing a very different philosophy to what D2G KIA played. D2G KIA, they really lent into that late round, holding onto those Yokais, the double C4s, the smoke babes. No, we see none of that on the side of Rogue. This is a full roam hold, extended up all 3 floors with the combination of the castle. Now, we've seen them play this plenty of times in the E-Well as well. And D2G KIA, this is a puzzle that they'll have to go through and solve, and it's a much more dynamic one than what they were bringing on their defending.
Yeah, there's a lot of work ahead of DWG to eat through this map control. And even once they do, there's a very strong setup on site from Rogue, not to mention the late round plant now from the Yokais and Echo. Spoit's on this roam upstairs, and he's a dangerous player in the server. And
I just love this. I think the background we've just seen, exactly, thank you, medics. DPEC is even committing one of the Yokai drones to Spoit's roam in the top floor. This is just, oh, I love this from Rogue. What teamwork.
Spoit's about to spot the drone, saw him. And now the call out from DPEC, player in the hallway. The C4's not quite it, but Spoit's going to go for the swing! The thermite of Woogieman goes down! What a devastating opening for DWG. Rin desperately trying to reply, but Spoit, the man on our lips, he gets to before he's traded back. DWG desperately looking for something after that, but they are not given a damn thing.
Yas now making his way down the main stairs, but for what? Cryan has just taken out one of your players. Oh, he does get spotted out by Katsang though. Now 2-on-3 situation for Rogue. They're going to dial it back. They're going to chill out on the site and wait for D2G KIA to press the attack because they've lost so much utility now. They don't have any more nades. They don't have hard breach for that server wall. They've only got the Hibana's to open up the hatch and try and go for some kind of play to flood into the site. What are they going to do?
Well, you look at Rogue, they're batting down the hatches. Kanto's grabbed the castle barricade and put it over the door into the side from server, just forcing D2G KIA to waste their time. And it's looking grim. Katsang and Yas, 2 great players, but it's not going to be easy here, and Rogue are playing it so well.
DPEC has even decided, all right, I'm just going to bring the Yokais back. If all things go sour, I'm just going to hop on my little phone and stop that plant from going down anyway. Every single bit of utility. Oh, hang on a second, the drone battles. This is intense.
Amogus. Hey, that's not one of my drones. Well, DWG need to get a move on. 25 seconds.
This isn't looking so good though. Yes, coming down the main stairs, but all Rogue players are in a position where they can trade each other out. They're playing very close by. They don't want to give D2G KIA any chances, any 1 versus 1.
15 seconds remaining.
DPEC spots it. Quick cross there from Yas, and he goes straight into the site. He's got that diffuser. Is he going to start planning it straight away? Rogue on for the retake. 2 coming from Volt. Katsang, that might be the perfect flash, but DPEC can't deny it. Is it going to be enough? Indeed it is. The Yokai comes in clutch once again.
And wow, just such discipline from Rogue as well in that late round. They weren't willing to give away any of the 1 versus 1s. As soon as Yas came down the main stairs, we saw Kanto, we saw one of his teammates run his way through the gold vault, not alone, but together, making sure that those trades were going to work in their favor because they knew only 1 person can be covering. We may as well take that 2-on-1 together off the back of that Yokai drone to eventually win it out. Rogue, I love that strat for them. I love the pressure that they're putting onto D2G KIA, and in their rattled state, I'm looking at Rogue to take this one out.
There's no doubt about it. 2 rounds from securing the 3 points are Rogue right now. They've stretched a 3-round lead. And DWG do take their tactical timeout. It's the only one they're going to get for the whole map to lose their first attacking round after only going 2-4 on the half. Rogue are running away with this. That's 5 rounds straight from the Europeans here, Mandy. And DK are just looking lost.
And particularly Spoit is running away with this. He's backing the team completely. It's just incredible. Everything that he's been able to do is enabling. We saw that in direct effect in that last round. We saw the drone from DPEC. DPEC is only 2-2, I believe, on the scoreboard at the moment. But the impact that he's got, to Spoit, that's the assist on the kills that he needs. And that's just the teamwork flowing through this team is insane.
It really goes to show that I think this iteration of the Rogue roster has found their footing. It took them a little bit to get there, and even some players found that they struggled a bit at the start. I'm going to talk about Kanto for a second. He actually, while he has been playing that kind of entry role or support entry role, not support, he's been helping with the entry. He hasn't necessarily been the primary entry. Secondary entry, there you go. He hasn't been showing up in the stats as someone like Spoit. Right? Spoit is 2.0 KD right now. Kanto's actually beating him for KD, only died twice. And it's great to see Kanto find his footing once again, find his place. Oh, tempted spawn peek there from Leon, exuding confidence, our Rogue.
I feel like he deserves that. He deserves the confidence license. I mean, look at Rogue. They're all doing absolutely incredible. DWG KIA, they're going to shape up for this attack onto the top floor. Now, DWG KIA, they have leaned into the Ace and the Floros, and so it does seem like they're going to go for that square take, try to clear out as much utility as possible, and open up their way into the site rather than do what Rogue did. Oh, goodness gracious me, Leon. This is getting really terrifying for them.
It is, but Leon does not want to let this case go. He's continuing to peek outside these windows, and he gets it finally! Insult added to injury. Rogue in the driver's seat of this game, and Dam1 left behind at the station.
And well, that is one way to rub salt in the wound. Re-peek it once, okay. Re-peek it twice, a third time to finally get the kill. Leon, what on earth was that from you?
And what a rough game from Code as well. He's died every single round and only found a single kill. A pretty rough game for the Dam1 player. And you can see Dam1 as a whole have fallen back into their shells. So slow. Fighting from a numbers disadvantage now. They're going to need to see some huge plays. Otherwise, this game is not going to last much longer.
And now we're seeing the Rotero drone starting to get used into this hallway. The shield that was originally protecting Spoit is now destroyed. And we also have the wildcard of Yas, the one we spoke about before this match even started, slipping his way up the main stairs, trying to catch someone off guard. And in fact, Boogeyman actually catches Leon on the jump out. Rogue, is this too much overconfidence?
Rogue need to be careful here. Don't get too overzealous. Don't let Dam1 back into this game, because Rogue have shut them out so far. There is a point when it is too much. And Dam1 now evening up the scoreline. Do they have the positioning for it? A bit of a breach on the wall could help. And that's exactly what Woogieman has done. Katsung throwing another Rotero drone. It's going to be able to find.
DWG KIA tried to do the measure twice, cut once, but it doesn't matter. Rin is going to hop in anyway, not accounting for DPEX crossfire, trying to take down a second onto Yas. 4 versus 2 situation now for Rogue, looking into driver's seat once again for this round.
Yeah, tough one. Woogie on the window. Katsung not able to do a lot from his position outside square. DPEX starting to feel that pressure, but it's too late. DPEX already had his impact, preventing a stop jump in, and Spoit actually confirms what looked to be DPEX's kill. It is now a 1 versus 4 for poor Woogie. And just look at Spoit exuding confidence once again. He's going for it. Rogue is going to head on to match point. There are no two ways about it. Woogieman desperately dancing, but Kanto is going to put him in the... No, all right, he's going to find one more consolation frag, but it matters for absolutely nothing. Rogue on to match point, 6 rounds in a row.
And how incredible teamwork once again on the side of Spoit. DPEC, he goes, oh, hang on a second, guys. My wall is getting breached behind my back. I am in trouble. And Spoit goes, don't worry, bro. I'm there for you. I'm here to swing through that hallway. We're going to get you out of this one. And absolutely, that is the story of Rogue so far. They are holding each other's hand through every single step, not of just the attack to enable Spoit in, but even on the defense. In intel, in refrags, in crossfires, everything, these guys are on it.
That's the scary thing about Rogue. It's not like they have one player who's just running around the whole map and killing everyone. You know, it's not like they've got one person who's just got the most insane aim you've ever seen. They are just a team. They are a unit all together. And the way that they play it, the way that they support each other, it's honestly, it's brilliant. It's worthy of a semi-final or better team. And we were trying to split hairs coming into this game. We were saying, look, Dam1 and Rogue, both very similar teams, both looking to fight for redemption after peaking at the Sweden Major, and it's pretty clear who's on top at the moment.
I absolutely agree with you on that one. Rogue, they've blown us away in every single way possible. This is just an incredible showing from them. Now Rogue will take us down to staff room and open area. I feel like we haven't seen them play this site before. Could be wrong. But coming into it.
They've only had one defense
well, yeah,
so
there
far.
you go. I'm trying to compare them to Damwon Kia because they've
Damwon
Kia
Kia
played this a lot.
Yeah,
plenty
three
of times. Yes, it's all blown over my head now. Deja vu. But Rogue, they're playing something a little bit different once again. We've have to go into a rehost for now. Some tech issues happening, and so for now, talk a bit about Rogue, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, what a stellar opening. They lost the first 2 rounds, one of which was a clutch, and since then they have just been phenomenal. There's not been a moment when Damwon has looked to be in control. It's not like these are close rounds and Rogue's just edging it out. No, Rogue is just looking like the better team, hands down. I mean, there are some players on Damwon who look like they barely appeared in the server, and every individual play that Damwon seem to try to make, Rogue are there with 2 or 3 players to reply.
And that is such the big difference between the philosophies of both of these two teams, don't you think so? Rogue, they're all about a game flow between all 5 players. That is the way that they've been attacking it. That's the way that they've been defending it as well. Damwon here, they don't have that same philosophy. They have Yas going off doing his own thing. They have 3 players trying to work the wall. Rin going off and doing his own thing as well. It feels like a disconnect that Damwon Kia have, which Rogue don't have. And that's really been their downfall in this game as well. It's allowed Rogue to double up, team up on these guys, and eventually take them down.
Now for Damwon, they do have a moment while we go for this rehost to figure out what is the play from here. I mean, where do you go from here? It has been pretty rough. It has been... This is not the Damwon that we saw go through all of APAC North.
No.
Like, what is going wrong for them? Like, yeah, they're going against a really good team, but you wouldn't expect 6 rounds in a row to go the other way.
I think for Damwon, they need to take a step back. They've gone through adversity. They've been through these losses now many times, even as of recent. Loss and being in a period of, I suppose, downtime, down in the scoreline. This is something that by now, surely they're used to. They've been in this position before, and it's a test to see whether they can come back from it, bring themselves back into it, whether it's mentally, also in this server as well, to try and take the fight back to Rogue, but that is so difficult with the form that Rogue are currently in.
And what is the secret to Rogue's success? What is it that's made it different from Stage 1, where they failed to qualify for Charlotte? It's difficult to point to one thing, but if you were... I mean, the roster change, Spoit. Right? I mean, it's such an obvious one. It's not like Spoit is just the most insane player we've ever seen and he's completely changing the game. He is top fragging currently, but is that... I feel like that's just as much the rest of Rogue as it is Spoit.
Well, there's one more thing that we do know about Rogue from chatting to them, and that is that they've really worked hard on their mental game in these last few weeks. Especially with together as a team and being able to respect and enable each other. That's a big thing in this team. They have incredible team culture. They have sort of rituals that they do, the fist pumps every single time to make sure that they're all in it mentally.
Yeah,
and that's such a big difference in this roster.
I think it was Dez that said that during, I think it was the Rogue Heroic game, Heroic were up by a huge margin. And they were kind of mocking the camera by doing those fist pumps that Rogue loves to do on the online cameras. And then Rogue went and managed to do a comeback. Like, that is the Rogue that has taken themselves up to the next level in Stage 2. They have put themselves back on the map.
And that is the Rogue of New, and turning it into this lobby, the Rogue of New seems to be shining very bright. Now this staff room open area hub, we can see only 3 players on the side, Cryan and Spoit holding onto that top floor, and Spoit being so aggressive inside of stock.
Oh, I love this. Is he just going to go for it? He doesn't seem to have info. Cryan is trying to bait for info for him.
Yes.
This is perfect. Rin is in such an exposed position. Is Spoit just going to send it?
Oh no, but maybe it's a little bit too late. Rin's already made his entry. He opens up the barricade, puts some pressure. Doesn't find anything. Now he might be cut off. Oh, it doesn't matter though!
Spoit once again steps up. Big shoes that he had to fill for Rogue, and he has more than run miles in them. Damwon Kia now 4v5. What could be the final round of this game. It could well be 7 rounds in a row for Rogue to make this comeback. There's still roamers on the top floor. Yas and Katsung spotting them as they retreat, but no one on the skylight to punish them as they go back.
And I thought that was so good from Damwon. I thought that was a 3-man, 3-way pinch that was coming in through the top floor, but Rogue just sneak their way. Perfect timing to go down the main stairs, not give away their life. Rogue, they've made so little mistakes in this matchup, and that's a perfect showing of it. Although Spoit, oh, he is sitting inside the elevator, still waiting for that main stairs push, protected by the castle barricade. He's got info. They're going to go for it.
And there you go. Kryne says, I see and I do. Spots him out on the Valcam and immediately goes for it. This is, to be honest, this is embarrassing for Damwon. Rogue has stepped up massively. They are playing their best game and they are showing that EU is not to be trifled with.
Absolutely not. Now, Katsang starting to get his work into that top floor, but I feel it is too little too late to whip out that skeleton key and try and make use of this roam clear on the bomb site. I mean, the bomb site itself is barely vertical. You cannot play that much vertical into the bomb site. The entire kitchen, hard floor on the top. And so that skeleton key, you can only get so much out of it. This horizontal pressure from Coded is where it has to be at if they want to press the attack, but with only 35 seconds left to go, it's feeling impossible. It's feeling dire for the Damwon Kia.
Kanto is feeling a bit of pressure there, so he falls back. Woogieman worried about a bulletproof camera. Time is of the essence, but there's not much time left. Spoit surely finds it here. Immediate headshot on the Katsang. And it looks like this game may well be overcoded. Desperately trying to move away, but Spoit there once again, a 3K on for the round. It was over a long time ago, and that was just the final nail in the coffin. 7 rounds in a row. An easy game for Rogue.
And what an incredible way to start your run through the Berlin Major. A 7-2 dominant win for Rogue, pushing themselves all the way to victory. They look so ecstatic in the player cams right now. Hugs going out all around. Wow, what an incredible win.
Unreal showing from Rogue. What a performance. It's all smiles, it's all happy, and I mean, just look at that. They are having a fantastic time. I certainly didn't expect it to go that way.
No, I didn't either. I thought this one was going to be close. I thought it was going to be back and forth, but Rogue, they have clearly voted this. They had something up their sleeves that we had never seen before, and that is just, wow, what an incredible showing from them.
Well, Damwon Kia have a lot of thinking to do after that game, but Rogue should well celebrate. We'll be back for the pre-show after a short break. Game perhaps went a little bit quicker than we expected. It started and it looked pretty good for Damwon, and then it really didn't look good for them. Rogue made the most of that opportunity. 7 rounds in a row, something you very rarely see a fair number of flawless rounds in there too. What a dominant showing. EU, I think, have already made a statement.
Absolutely, Rogue. They've come in, they're dominant. They've showed us the progress that they've made throughout the stage has really amounted to something incredible. Showing against Damwon Kia, that is nothing to laugh at. They are an incredible team in their own right. And 7-2, wow, that is dominant.
I think any team could watch back that Rogue VOD and take a lot away from how they're playing the game. You know, using these yokai drones for these aggressive roams, the way that they're supporting each other on these advanced positions, the way that they know exactly the moment when to fall back. I mean, it's not the Rogue that we saw play again. You know, we were talking about that BDS bank game. Very different Rogue, I feel we saw in the server today.
That Rogue looked refined. They knew the timing down to a T. They're like crossing their T's, dotting their I's, everything. It just felt like it was so well planned out, even on their attack. The Rogue aura that they instilled in that lobby was just so immense. It just permeated throughout the entire thing. And just like, that's terrifying if you're down one kid. That is terrifying.
And if you're on match point, I think it was, when Leon was spawn peeking and just, he wasn't giving up.
Yeah,
They're peeking those CEO windows. Coded, poor guy outside with a DMR, just wants to try and find that punishment. And Leon is continually peeking, continually getting aggressive. He even ended up jumping out a window to his demise. But that shows the amount of confidence that Rogue had built up throughout that game. Let's go and have a look at the match summary. Oh, actually, I think we have groups. So let's go have a look and reflect upon how the stream has gone so far. There you go. The group, as it stands right now, the NIP and XSET games have not started yet. So we've just had Rogue and Dam1. And with a 7-2 scoreline, that gives Rogue 3 points.
And points and regulation are so important in this major, as we've spoken about. The point system, meaning that if you go to overtime, you're not going to pick up all three, does put Rogue immediately in that pole position to make their way into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's going to be really tough for Dam1 to come back from this. And I'm starting to think that Rogue is looking like you said pole position for players, looking like the most favored team. And for Dam1, this perhaps tempers our expectations a little bit because it's not going to be free from here on out. You know, XSET made playoffs in Charlotte, and NIP have, they're on a bit of a reprisal after a quiet bit, and they know what it means to be champions and go to major finals as well. So it's starting to look like Rogue are very much a shoo-in.
Absolutely. We haven't seen the other two teams play yet, so it's going to be difficult to judge just how competitive this is. But we're going through some of the other groups now as well.
Spoilers,
Elevate,
guys.
hang on. Oh, spoilers.
I hadn't seen this one yet, but here you go. On the B stream, the Elevate M&M game has finished, and Elevate has taken it 7-4. I don't know if you guys on the stream could hear, but we could hear a lot of yelling during our match. And it wasn't always from our game. I reckon a lot of it was from this M&M Elevate game. But wow, that's a really excellent start for Elevate. So it's not all doom and gloom for APAC, I guess.
It is not doom and gloom for APAC, especially for APAC South. We love our Elevate boys.
Hashtag
that's
not
where
biased.
we come from. Okay, you can't just say that to them. They're not allowed to hear that. But anyway, now, what an incredible matchup that we've just seen from both teams. I can't wait to go back and watch that Elevate game, take it to NMM. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, try to say that 10 times fast.
Try and say that 10 times fast, exactly.
Yeah, look,
it's going to be an incredible one.
I think to take away from the group that we just watched, Group A, Rogue looking like a very fearsome beast. Honestly, it's going to be hard to see with how well they play today. With those flawless rounds, with that 7-in-a-row streak, it's going to be tough to imagine them not making the playoffs.
I think I'd agree with you on that one. They look like they're in red-hot form. The blood is flowing. The chemistry is there. And off to a good start. It's just what you need.
Bit of redemption needed, though, for M&M and Dam1 Kia. Now, Dam1 are actually playing a game, well, very, very soon. So we're going to go to a quick break, but don't get anywhere because there's a chance at redemption for Dam1. Or not, or we can just chat here.